What is up, podheads? Back with another episode of the Podioslave podcast. My name is Tony, joined as always by Anthony.
Anthony's here, feeling good, feeling great. How are you?
I thought you weren't going to do third person.
Oh, now I'm off my game. I can't be off my game because I'm hyped after this combo. But we'll get into it.
And Nate's here too.
What up? I'm back. Check it. Let's do it.
No third person, dude? Come on.
No third person. Nate, come over here. All right.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right, he's here. Yeah, there he is. Perfect. Yeah.
NPR Nate.
But yeah, we'll keep this fairly brief because we're gonna talk. We got a long combo with Dave Gutter coming here in a second. But what a fucking awesome conversation. What an amazing time in person at Dave's studio. I'm talking to you about 10 days after we recorded it. I just finished editing it today, and it's so good. Like I'm so excited for people to hear this because it's one of the more present conversations I think we've ever had on the podcast. It's something we couldn't have done until now. And, you know, having grown up with Dave as a musician, going to shows, seeing him there, maybe rubbing elbows with him at stuff after the fact and getting to know him a little bit after that. And now being able to have a 2-hour conversation with a guy. I'm so hyped.
Yeah, you nailed it. Like that was Dave Gutter between Rustic Overtones, Paranoid Social Club, and every piece of music he's had his hands on since then. Like, I mean, I don't want to overhype it, but if it wasn't for Rustic, maybe live music wouldn't have been my thing. Like, think about that. Like, it's like a good local restaurant that's just world class. Like, now you have an appetite for cuisine. Here's my food analogies, Nate, so you can be satisfied.
Nice, stoked on it.
But no, like, think about it. When you're 15 years old, you go see a band like Rustic Overtones. The Rustic Overtones at the State Theater, at the Asylum, they were on a different playing field. And Dave's voice, man, the energy and the soul and the, what do we call it? The gutter grit.
Yep.
The gutter grit it's just next level.
Dude, perfectly said. Actually, I hadn't thought about that in a while. I remember when Rustic was getting shopped around for labels, and I remember just quotes. Again, it's all hearsay for the most part, but like record labels looking at Rustic Overtones and Gutter in particular as a frontman, like, oh, you're going to be the next Dave Matthews Band. And like, I always thought of that as a really interesting way to frame them because, like you just said just now, like Portland, Maine didn't really, I don't know if it really had a scene. If it did, it was definitely more like on the rock or metal side of things. And Rustic was eclectic. So for us
100%.
Coming up with a horn section and everything, it really was like a really interesting introduction to music's more than one scene. It can be a lot of things, and Dave Matthews Band obviously encapsulates that, and same with Rustic Overtones. So we were like very, like you said, very fortunate to have that in our backyard as a local scene, but also we didn't know anything about music, so we're like, oh wow, like horn section, gritty guitars, gritty vocals, like definitely interested. Like, I don't know what he's talking. What does Iron Boots mean? I have no idea. There's probably some meaning behind that, I'm sure.
That song's amazing too. If you haven't listened to Iron Boots.
Yeah, so we were very fortunate, and I think into that Dave Matthews vein, like imagine being in I think it's Charlottesville, Virginia, seeing Dave Matthews Band playing a local bar and being like, this is cool, like interesting, like okay, and then it becomes this world class thing. That's a great way to be introduced to music as a collective. Like it's not singular; it's very much so many things, and I think Dave and Rustic very much so accomplished that. So
yeah, and he's more than just Rustic too, right? I mean, he's done Paranoid Social Club, Armies. Yep. He's been doing the music thing really for 30 years, maybe longer. I mean, we talk about it right up front. He got to start playing in bars at like 11 years old. So he's been a music lifer, and he's a guy that, you know, writes songs for other people. He won a Grammy writing a song for Aaron Neville a few years back. We get into that. We talk about getting on a Naughty by Nature song. We talk about all kinds of different stuff, and it's a very cool look into the life that he's lived as a musician coming out of our state. That's a guy that has been doing it for so damn long and so damn well. I'm so happy that we have somebody like that from our neck of the woods. There, you know, he's ours. He's his, but he's ours, right?
I know, we're so spoiled. And when he won a Grammy a couple of years ago, that was like, it cemented him. It cemented like everything we knew about him. And at the time of recording this, he dropped, is it his debut solo album?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think debut solo full-length album, The Music Industry is Trying to Kill Me. We get into a lot of that, and the theme and like the narrative of that album could only have come from someone who lived everything we just said for the last 3 minutes. It comes from a real perspective, and you know, he's kind of talking about things in jest and poking fun at it, but there's a real theme there, right? So if you haven't listened to it, the music industry is trying to kill me. Dave Gutter, man, I almost want to like be like, hey guys, we're done with this intro because you have to listen to this convo.
Let's get into it right here. Yep, Dave Gutter, the king of Maine. I mean, sorry, suppose, but he really is
the godfather of Maine. Let's put it that way. He's older.
Welcome to Podioslave. This is Dave Gutter.
Yes,
Dave.
There's the open right there.
Hi, it's Dave. I'm here with David. You guys know that Tony and Anthony are the same thing.
We
it's
do.
A bit redundant. Yeah.
We've been.
My real name isn't Tony.
Oh, really?
We haven't told the world that yet, but I'll tell you after.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. Because Tony was already taken, and
It was.
just Tony.
We couldn't find another Tony.
We're
host.
still trying to find a third Tony. It hasn't happened yet.
I have a band name that's kind of along that lines, except it goes more in the opposite direction, which is Johnsons and Johnsons and Johnsons.
Nice.
That needs to see the world.
Yeah.
Like,
it does.
A big farmer will not have it.
who else is here? Who else?
Don't get Kevin. Kevin's here too.
Hi.
Kevin Kinney. Just hi.
That's
That's
it,
all you
that's
got.
all.
That's it. That's all we're getting.
I mean, I don't know why I'm here, but thank you for having me. I think I was here to set up the gear, and I was given a mic just to like placate me for the evening.
Well, hey, we're excited to have everybody on mic tonight because it's always fun to do stuff like this, and we don't get to do in person very often. And this is one that we've wanted to do pretty much from the start of the podcast, but never really felt comfortable enough to do it with you, Dave, because we've been fans for since we were 16 years old. So now
Which is a
I'm
long
gonna be
time
41
ago.
in a couple weeks, so that's a long time.
Well, that is a long time. I'm 50.
Just
It
one
just
up to all of
feels
us.
dirty. It feels like when I announce that I'm 50, it's like I'm confessing to a whole bunch of like creepy things, like, and like I don't know, like I don't know.
So thanks for coming on one, and thanks for hosting. Like
I know, right?
Like, what do we owe you?
Well, you gave me half of your THC drinks. Yeah, we'll figure out a price. I mean, we charge by the hour here
All
at
right,
the
there you
studio,
go.
so we'll get you guys.
Rooms by the hour.
I
We're
mean,
in.
yeah, exactly. That's why I agreed to do the podcast. I was like, oh, this is like a Trump move. I was like, oh, I'll just have them do it with all my stuff in my studio, then
Yep.
send them the invoice.
Yep.
There you go. Make
Yeah.
him feel good. Slow play it a little bit.
Never compare me to Trump again, by
We
the
won't.
way.
We won't. Yeah, you've got our phone numbers. You've got our DM. Like, it's easy enough to find us. So
Yeah.
just don't know my real name.
The other day I accidentally didn't know I was watching you guys. I'm not familiar with podcasts. I'm not familiar with any podcast.
That's okay.
So don't take it personally.
Including his own.
I was saying,
Yeah,
what about your own
I
podcast?
don't listen to podcasts. I don't really even listen to music that much. I listen to music as like a quick refresher, like we turn music on for a second. But I'm kind of, what does a prostitute not want to do on her day
Yeah.
off?
I mean, that makes
sort
sense.
of thing. But I listened to you. But I saw you guys on Instagram. You guys were breaking down the 311 lyrics, and I didn't know it was you guys.
Yeah.
And I was just watching it, like completely compelled and
Nice.
laughing my ass off
Beautiful.
because that's I also grew up through that thing where all of a sudden you have a realization.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of bands from the 90s and the early 2000s, they did this to us. There's a lot of mumbo jumbo. And, we
Bunch of
were
bullshit.
just singing along and doing whatever. We don't know what the hell they're saying. And then all of a sudden it's like a fog clears and you're like, what are they saying?
Right.
That makes no sense at all. I like them because they're like the Beastie Boys with guitars. And
Yep.
then at some point I got really betrayed by them.
Well, that happens. That happens with anybody that's been a band for a long time.
Let me
You're
guess.
gonna,
Was
at
it
some
Amber?
point.
Yeah,
That
that was
was
exactly
it.
it.
Yeah.
That was the
No,
bullshit.
I'll tell you
moment.
honestly that the reason why I don't listen to 311 is because we've played with them a number of times,
Mhm.
like a number of times, and they never remember us.
Oh shit. That's intentional,
So
right?
Yeah.
the last time we played with them, in fact, one of their roadies came over to our van and was like, "Hey, the guys from 311 just want to say they thought your set was sick." And I got out of the van and I walked over to the tour bus and I knocked on the door and they opened it and I was like, "Why didn't you tell us yourself?"
And how do they respond?
They just were like, "Get out of our bus. This is our sanctuary. This is our safe space. Security. Get this guy
We
out
are
of here."
hotboxing this thing. You made us open the door. Like, come on.
But actually, they must have remembered at least me or we had a mutual friend because in the early like 2005 or 6, Nick Hexum recommended me for this like recycled percussion is what they're called.
Oh,
And
wow.
they're like stomp. They like dance around and hit ladders and
Yeah.
jump in trash cans and all
Yeah.
this stuff. and they had like I had always done a cover of Sledgehammer with Rustic. So
Peter Gabriel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I ended up going out on the road with this like theater kind of thing.
Nice.
Because they recommended me for that.
Well, you finding that reel is funny because a lot of people found that reel and they found it through Reggie Miller, who restoried it. We were like, this is the coolest fucking thing that's ever happened to us. Reggie Miller restoried this, like out of nowhere. My phone starts blowing up from all these people that saw this reel that probably wouldn't have seen it otherwise because, you know, one of the best 3-point shooters of all time restored it.
Yeah,
So-
see, I don't know sports, so I'm just sitting here like just going, like, who the fuck
So
is
if
that?
you get it,
Reggie-
yeah,
the saxophonist, right? Reggie Miller.
he's on
quartet?
TNT still. He calls games. Like he's still in the spotlight. He is.
Okay.
A lot of people- a
One
lot of
thing
people,
you
yeah.
said, you said, is there anything that's off limits? Sports.
All right.
Not the
That's-
Huey
that-
Lewis album.
I
That
do not
concludes
do sports.
Podioslave. We're done.
I know nothing about sports. I have a group with Oyster Guy. They're called Oyster Guy. It's hip hop, and I also perform with Spose. And you guys haven't asked any questions, but I'm answering them anyway.
I love it. Let
Yeah.
it
But
rip.
a lot of times I find myself yelling out these names. You know, I'm the guy that makes the beat, and I do like the hype man stuff for those guys. And I'll be yelling out these names. I don't even know who they are. I don't even know what they're like.
Yeah.
Steph Curry.
Yeah. That's
There's
awesome.
one that's like it's Stephanie like Umba or something, or Steph Umba. It's
Oh,
like someone's wife.
It's Giannis from the Bucks.
Giannis.
Yeah. But Giannis, I get a lot
It's
too.
Giannis. Yeah.
I'm, like, yelling
Oyster
out
Guy,
Giannis.
Oyster
It
Guy
sounds-
drops a pretty good Antetokounmpo
Yeah,
line.
nice.
It sounds like anus in Slavic or something.
That's
You know,
it.
like
Yeah.
Giannis. Like, oh my God, what am I yelling into this mic? I have no idea what this word is. This could be some terrible canceled stuff, but it's just sports people that I don't know.
Well, that's okay. We'll stop talking sports right there. We can get back into the music talk. That's why
now
people click
now
on
I
it
want
anyway.
to talk about it.
So Dave, we've been fans since I was trying to think back, probably '99. I was up at the Rockland Lobster Festival with my parents, and there's this band playing, Rustic Overtones, and it captivated me, and it captivated my parents too. So we watched, and we were fans since then. So you just dropped a new album, Music Industry's Trying to Kill Me. The opening track, the 27 Club, you reference getting into music at 8 and
Yeah.
playing at 11. So how does that all go down?
My parents randomly got me a drum set, and they got me like jazz drum lessons when I was 8. And when I
Jazz
from, like,
drum
8
lessons at
yeah.
8. Wow.
which I didn't even know that meant that you could also play rock drums
Yep.
or punk rock drums or anything. I was just like, oh, I just jazz. I don't know. I mean, whatever jazz an 8-year-old can do, you know. So it was kind of just like messing around on the drums, but you know, nonetheless, I was hitting them and whatever. But then, yeah, I was playing in bars. I played at the bar next to my house. I live in South Portland, and the bar next to where I live, I played there when I was 11 years old.
Did anyone question this? Like, what's
Well, my
this
parents
guy-
used to
what's this
bring
kid doing?
us, and you know, not to mention, I mean, like I was talking with another friend that's from the Portland area that's around my age, and we used to like sneak into shows all the time. And there was a few of us. We would go solo. You won't bring all your friends. You go solo because no one's going to question it, and you're just there because you want to see good music.
Yep.
So there's a venue called Raoul's. There's a blues bar where Aura is called Morgan Fields. They would have like blues and jazz artists from all over the world perform there that were amazing. There was a place called The Tree, which was like I saw Bad Brains, Minor Threat,
Damn.
Black Uhuru
Damn.
in this, like it's about the size of this studio.
Mhm.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's-
and it was super.
Oh,
It's where Billy and Jimmy had the place on Danforth.
Okay. That's a random spot for a club.
That was The Tree. Yeah, so like I was in bars early, and you know we had no complaints about playing 3 hours. It's like some sweatshop type
Yeah.
shit, you know. We had no complaints about playing a 3-hour set. And
So were you playing drums?
no, I was just playing guitar. I didn't sing until like we had a string of singers that the way to get it to be the singer of the band was kind of like you're like a little cooler than everyone else, or maybe you're an alpha male or
Yeah.
something. But we were 11, so Like maybe you're in the next grade and we're like, wow, he's a year older than us. This is crazy. So, and you know, a lot of times the singers were like the best skateboarders in our crew. So it was like a bunch of skaters that wanted to make punk rock skate music. And so whoever was kind of just down to be the singer was the singer. And then things would happen. People would get their tonsils out, or
Can't relate.
whatever happens to kids, they go through puberty, they can't sing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of default became the singer.
That famously happened to Homer Simpson.
I bet.
Yeah. There's a Simpsons episode where he's singing in the choir and it's right, and all of a sudden his voice cracks and he can't sing anymore, and that's the end of Homer singing.
So did you, like, obviously we talked about it before this, you get the gutter, what do you say, the gutter grit, right?
The gutter grit, yeah.
The
you got the gutter
soulful
grit.
grit. Like, was that present back then, or?
Yeah, when you were 11.
No, well, I mean, I always tried to make it. I always tried to make my voice something that it wasn't. It took me a long time to discover my voice, but I got nodes. I got nodes like the day that we started like touring like crazy. We were literally doing 300 shows a year because we were doing a radio tour. So our whole business plan and our whole marketing behind this tour to make ourselves money and to get our name out there was we would show up at a college campus during the day and we'd busk on the street and tell everyone about our show. Then we'd go to the radio station that we had set up an interview and to play live on air or do their festival or whatever they had, whatever worked out timing wise, and then play the club in that town that night. And we did this formula. This is just what we did. Every town we'd go to that had a college and that had a radio station that would have us. And at the time we were signed, so it was easy to get these things. So I got nodes the day we left for this tour.
Damn.
And what nodes is, it's blisters on your vocal cords. And it was basically like, you're gonna sing and you're gonna lose your voice forever and you're gonna ruin your voice. You're gonna do permanent damage, or you have to take the next, 2 to 3 months off from like singing and like talking and shit too. But I didn't do it, and I got nodes. Went right in there, did the whole tour, no condom, nothing, and just shredded my shit. And then that became my voice. Mm-hmm. And then what I found helped was I listened to gospel singers. And gospel singers would sing day in, day out. They don't know about nodes. They don't care about this. They believe what they say, so they can say it. And as long as they say it in a way, it will sing it, but I say it, that they believe it. And when they say and sing the note in that way, you believe it because there's a feeling attached to the word.
Yeah, they mean it.
There's a feeling attached to the word. So therefore, you can reach for notes that maybe you can't hit, or you go down and sing low, and you just try things. And I think that everyone's all up in arms about this new Justin Bieber album.
Swag.
Yeah, produced by Dijon and McGee, who I'm huge fans of. But I must have gotten like 15 calls a day. It came out like, oh my God, you got to listen to it. And, I'm kind of glad that I have a nuance or something distinct about my voice. Cause
yeah, man.
That's the thing about a lot of singers now. Well, I don't want to say now because I don't want to sound, there's the most incredible music is happening right now. Like, I'm not a person that's going to be like, oh, back in the day, like, okay, we did our thing back in the day, and people in the 70s did their thing, and Motown did their thing, and everyone was amazing. Beethoven was dope.
Yeah, I mean, really.
All right, I'm
Allegedly.
sure there was some dope caveman somewhere. But I think that music is the best it is right now. It's just so oversaturated.
There's so much of it.
You can't pause. Everyone has a favorite artist that you've never heard of.
Yep.
There's concerts on every marquee that you're like, who are these people? And like, I got my finger on the pulse. I have not let off it. And I know a lot of artists, but it's impossible to keep up. But if you dig through, just like you always had to, it's never the stuff you're spoon fed that's got the big corporate America money behind 100%. It. That's never the stuff that's really, really great.
Right.
So
No, we're right there with you, and doing this obviously for 5+ years, we feel like our fingers on the pulse a little bit too. But at the same time, there's every day we're sending new bands to each other. Like, do we want to have them on? Do we want to try to hit these people up because they're awesome and they're not maybe back to the level that the stuff that your spoon fed is. So you want to shine a light on that stuff because that stuff's cool. Like, that's where the cool stuff is happening.
Yeah,
People that are just taking chances and putting music
Or
out.
bands playing Thompson's Point, and I'm like, who?
Yeah.
The fuck
Yeah,
is
right.
that?
That happens too.
Well, I feel
And
like-
how did they get to that level?
Yeah.
I feel like people don't understand that they're systematically shown what to
Mhm.
listen to.
Yeah.
Most people, and like, it never occurs to people. Like, the music industry is trying to kill me. It's kind of like pulling back the curtain a little bit on something that to me is very obvious. But like, you really think that one of the top 100 songs of whatever particular year was How Bizarre?
Right.
Like, really?
Yeah.
You're buying that?
Yeah.
You really think that all these people are like, oh my God, that fucking song? But it's beat over your head so much. Just like any promotion and marketing, it's just beat over your head. And it's always been, and I don't know, I have a palpable, genuine love for music. And sometimes it's a little sad how music is treated.
Yep.
And musicians, but even just music. You know what I mean? Just music is so fucking important, and it's so fulfilling for the people who listen to it and the people who make it, and it makes the fucking world go around. And I want to take music away. I want to go on strike. Like, you're in an elevator and it's just dead silent. You're at a wedding,
Yeah.
no music,
No dancing.
no
Yeah.
music at the wedding.
Well, I can't, like, OMC, How Bizarre. I can't help but think that was a song that was like, and they casted a role, like a director casting an actor for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy was selected for it. It was predetermined. We've talked about this a million times.
Yep.
With
I'm
certain modern
not
artists.
trying to make my whole platform. I want to diss on OMC.
Yeah.
I mean, but
die on that hill.
I feel like I targeted him a little bit, but there's a lot of
It's an
songs.
example. Yeah, it's an example.
Or even,
Yeah.
we spend thousands of dollars in my industry trying to get on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, every one of us who I consider to be talented and original, and we're all we're trying to compete with this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we want to be compared to this. We want to be at this caliber. Like, and then after a while, you're like, what am I doing? I just spent all this money to be something that's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be lumped in with those people. You know what I mean? I don't want to. And now with Trump, it's made me realize that I want even less fans. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want just anyone to be my fan. I want like the people that are genuine, that are listening, that can get something out of the music. Not a passive listener. Like, you want your top 40 stuff. Great. It doesn't bother me. I like top 40. I like to dance and everything, but there's no need for me to make that kind of music for myself.
Yeah.
I write for other people and will make that kind of music and have fun with it, but I take a different perspective when I write, for myself.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, I want to kind of stick on that point. Music is everything. I mean, we've dedicated 5.5 years talking about it and putting it out every week, but far longer as fans, like as people who have paid attention, read the liner notes, wanted to go to the shows and be
You
part
smell
of
that shit.
Yeah.
You get a
Oh.
new CD and you
Yeah.
fucking
You just-
snort that shit.
It
First
smells
thing-
like baseball cards. There's a few
Yeah.
distinct records.
Yep.
I'm like, that smells like baseball
And
cards.
you open it, you listen to it, and you get that feeling you got maybe the first time you listen to it. It comes back to you even 20, 25 years later, depending on what the time you spent with those records. So that's the currency, right? That's the stuff that makes us all, I think, all of us in this room anyway. And I bet if you clicked on this, you probably feel the same way. But that's life. That's the stuff right there. Yeah.
But I mean, even in terms of the entertainment industry, the music industry is in far worse shambles and far, leaning towards corporations like Live Nation
Yeah.
and just people trying to take what little we have. Okay, so something interesting is, and I might be mansplaining this. You guys might already know this,
Let it rip, man.
but this year, Spotify, at some point, I'll dig out my papers that I get from my publisher, how many songs I've written. But it was 2 years ago, it was over 3,000.
Oh, wow.
And I've lost count.
Shit.
But so all of these are like, some are developing artists, some are big artists, Some it's like co-write on something that I just came in and did something small, or I'm a session musician, or it's a score to a film or a series on TV. But so all of these things, Spotify takes your music, and if you don't get 1,000 plays, your pay begins at 1,000.
Right. Yeah.
Now
That's fairly new. Yeah. Well,
it's fairly
this
new.
year.
Well, maybe last year.
Yeah. End of last year. Yeah.
Yeah. So what that means for someone who has 3,000 songs, who works with a lot of up and coming artists, who works with a lot of developing artists, you know, what if I had 800 plays on 3,000 songs?
Right.
How much money would I get? Where, you know, so if all my artists are under 1,000, which they're not, but
some are.
But some are, and
Yeah.
it definitely did. Like I definitely noticed it. Like
Yeah,
I felt it when it happened. But you know, it's very divisive how to get paid in the music industry.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Is it's kind of strange how many like stupid loops you have to go through and hoops you have to jump through, and you know, it's almost the same type of thing with, you know, what we're talking about with like tickets and stuff. Like, okay, we know this is an AI automated system. What service fee am I paying?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Who am I paying?
Right. Who am I paying? Like, what am I paying who to do? There's a lot of things like that in the music industry. Like, you know, there's services that do distribution that I need to sign up for their service to get royalties from an artist if they work for them. And like, some of them are like $25.
Yeah.
Am I going to make $25? I mean, do people know that that's how little?
Yeah.
You know,
It's crazy.
Especially when with the 1,000 stream
yeah,
threshold now, like it's way worse.
I know people that work with Kendrick Lamar, and I know people who have #1 songs with Taylor Swift and Beyonce, and they're in the same boat. Like it trickles up until the very top. The very top's okay, but it trickles up to everyone else in this industry that's doing anything behind the curtain or otherwise. Unless you're the cash cow and you're the, you know, the person, it's not that fair to a lot of people, and it extends to all different job titles in music. So I'm not even just complaining about myself.
Oh, that's everywhere.
This isn't just self-preservation. It's preservation for an industry that if you don't, kids aren't going to think it's a good idea to be a musician because it's not going to be financially.
Yeah.
It's just going to be, exactly. So kids are going to stop being musicians, and then we'll have less musicians. At the same time, we have people trying to feed us AI music.
I know.
So like, let's like, you know, it's a little bit of a wake up call, and it's kind of like an existential crisis for someone like me that's been in the music industry so long and seen all the changes. And then it's like, okay, well, this, like, I miss the rich moguls now that were, you know, just like taking.
Oh, don't say.
You know, I got to recoup my money. Like the record deals now are like, oh, they weren't so bad.
So that's like modern perspective with like streaming.
Oh, it was not so bad.
How was it when you, let's just say mid 90s, right? Rustic's, you know, getting a following, was that probably existed, but in a different format, or was it not as like predatory?
No, it was, and it was very much like coveted and necessary if you were a band. Like back then, the first thing would be like, oh, you're in a band? Are you signed? Like that would be a band's playing tonight at Zoots. Are they signed? Like, honestly.
Yeah.
And like we were out there doing everything DIY, printing our own T-shirts, like printing sheets of stickers and cutting them all out, all sitting in our space, doing all these things. And now I realize how fucking cool it was that we did that.
Yep.
And that we sustained that for years. And that's what helped us survive financially. But it was like we thought we were fucking losers.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
were like, what? Yeah, we got our CDs made of Staples. It's whack here. You know what I mean? But it was very much centered on, are you signed or not? And that was a kind of a barometer of if you were a real band or not or whatever. But back then, you know, there was tour support. Like there's not tour support now unless you get like a endorsement.
You're talking about like financial tour support, right?
Yeah, like if you were on a label and you went on tour, you got paid to go on tour no matter if people showed up to your show or not.
Yeah.
And and also it's not really done as much now as like the thing I was talking about, where like you're bombarding the radio station and the magazines, and you're out on the road, and you're showing up and visiting them, and rubbing elbows and stuff. And that part of it, I don't complain about that. Like, I like that part of it. I mean, I got to do content now. Like,
Right.
oh,
Yeah,
can I
the
go
thing
back to
that's-
schmoozing, please? Like, that was so much better.
Yeah. Well, and then you with the schmoozing aspect or the busking aspect, you're running into people who are excited to see you. Whereas content, it's such a throwaway situation. Like, you put
Yeah.
something out, maybe it gets a little traction in the moment, but everybody's on to the next thing so fast. Like,
Right.
you put all this time and effort into that, and nobody gives a shit 3 hours.
And you don't know who's viewing it.
Yeah,
you
no
have no
idea.
clue.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
That's the tough
that's.
part.
I mean, if I wanted to, I could just solve all that. I mean, I just like lay on the floor and, you put a hot dog in my ass.
Yeah, right. People
and
will see it.
I sing one of my songs
Yeah,
while you do it.
Yeah.
I mean, guaranteed, dude. It's
Yep.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
But I I don't want those fans.
No.
So I don't need to. I don't want the hot dog
I
anus
do,
fans.
just
Yeah.
for the record.
No, but what I'm saying, it's back to the passive thing, the disposable art part of it.
Right.
And it's fine to be disposable. I actually thought it was genius like 2 records ago when Drake made and I hate Drake, but I don't hate Drake. But I'm not like on a Drake wagon.
It's not for you.
You
Yeah,
hate
yeah.
his new abs that he just
Oh,
got.
jeez.
Yeah, it's BBL. But the thing about Drake is he put out the album Certified Lover Boy
Yeah.
or whatever. And I listened to it and I was like, this is garbage. Like, nothing impacted me. It was all just
I
like
agree.
this flat, like smooth, whatever. And then I was like, oh my God, this is background music
Mhm.
for girls to get ready to go to the club.
Yep.
And this is music to go shopping to. And like, it's kind of brilliant. I've never thought of being background music before.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of music now, especially with like, chill playlists and
Yep.
whatever, where people want passive music. They don't want an egomaniac lead singer that struts around and is talking about how many girls he's fucked, like, like Mick Jagger and Robert Plant. They want a humble, chill person that's their soundtrack.
Yep.
It's not about the singer. It's not about the lead singer and all that stuff. It's about, this is your soundtrack to studying, going out with your friends, doing drugs, whatever you do. But it brings it more about the actual person. And I like that, as opposed to like the egocentric, typical like rock and roll kind of paradigm. I think it's cool that music can now be owned. And even though we're spread thin and we're oversaturated, you can find those artists. And like, I get mad when my favorite artist blows up. I'm over here trying to make a living at music.
Yep.
But I'm like, oh, fuck. Now they're popular.
Right.
Fuck. That sucks. I wish they were unpopular because I liked them better. It was just me and my friends listening to them. You know what I mean? And I've also been, not to be too corny, but yeah, I have a song called All My Heroes Are Dead. And basically, there are so many unsung heroes in music that I don't feel like, the world owes me anything.
Mm.
There's so many people that died in the poorhouse. I just like to make it so that maybe musicians someday don't, and
Yeah.
maybe it's distributed more evenly, because it's just like everything else. It's like, like homelessness. If we just distributed things a little more evenly. Oh, speaking of which, I have a movement I'd like to start, and I think you guys could help me start it.
All right. Maybe, yeah.
We're here.
I'm trying to devalue money.
Okay.
So
I think we're already headed that way.
We're
but
gonna-
yeah.
We're
we're
doing
going to
that just
boycott
fine.
money. So
Yeah.
if money has no value,
Yeah.
then billionaires aren't billionaires
That's
anymore.
true. That's a good point. They stop having power
Right.
because they
And
just have a number on a screen.
I'll trade with
Yeah.
you. You
Yep.
trade with me. I go to, I was eating in a Mexican restaurant the other day, and I was like, I should just like play in the corner for my nachos.
Yeah.
And then I go to the clothing store and I say, hey, how about my band plays your grand opening and you can play us in your store and we'll do whatever and you can sell our CDs and keep the money and give me a sweatshirt.
Dave got it live at Filene's. Like, I mean, Filene's is gone, but
Filene's
Filene's basement, that's
Yeah.
just underground.
yeah.
But bartering. basically.
Yep.
And we that's the only way we can really take back everything. We need a clean slate.
Yeah.
Need a new form of currency. And who are we not going to trade with? Elon Musk.
The guys that already have. Yeah.
No.
We don't need what you're selling.
No. I gave this dude donuts for an electric car. I'm good.
Give Elon a guitar and put him in the corner and see how it goes. Probably not very good. Probably not.
So did that perspective come from years of doing this, or was 1995 Dave as skeptical, or like,
Oh, I'm
or
not
observant?
skeptical. I'm very hopeful, but I'm more focused in on like the things that are important.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I realized that the fulfillment of music and the creation of art has to be completely untethered from financial
Yeah.
stress and
Yeah.
business things and red tape and all that. It's a totally different way of thinking, and it's very fulfilling. And if I get too caught up in the stuff that distracts me from that, then exactly that happens is I'm not creative. So a lot of times I shoot myself in the foot. I've literally had probably over $1 million stolen from
Ugh.
me, like just easily, just because I've signed any contract that comes in front of me, because I don't care. I just, okay, you'll put out my record. That's the eyes on the prize. I don't care. I'm going to die someday. I could care less about your fucking legal mumbo jumbo. We'll work it out. You're not going to stop me from making music.
Mhm.
So it's never been, I also have this thing where I made that one act play called I've Been Here a While. Recorded that in my daughter's bedroom, quarantine during COVID. Not the video. The video is done at the St. Lawrence Church. But if you guys haven't seen this, the first song is like Midlife Crisis. And there's all these songs about my mortality because I got COVID. And to me, I was like, oh man, all the old fuckers are going to die.
Mm.
They're going to die. They're going to get COVID. They're going to die. And I got COVID and I was like, it never even occurred to me. I was just like, oh, free hallucinations. This is sick. Everyone's leaving me alone. I can finally write.
Yep.
But people were calling me that like rode my like high school bus. And they were like, hey man, I heard you got COVID. And I just want you to know that you were always cool to like me and my brother.
Worried about you dying. Yeah.
You're on your deathbed.
They thought I was going to die. So like I in turn started to think like, whoa, what if I die?
This could happen. Yeah.
So I started writing all these songs for that perspective. And then I just started thinking about leaving the world different than you came into it
Mhm.
In any way. And so that became like the focus. And to be honest, like my funeral is really what I make art for now. I'm trying to, I'm dead serious.
Yeah,
I'm
man,
not lying
yeah.
at all.
No, it's just
I
it's a different way to think.
I don't care how much success I get. Like I think I'm good at what I do. And I think that what I do, other people don't do. And I don't care what, I just know that it lives on after you die.
Yep.
And that's what I'm focused on. And even if I'm unsung, I love all the people that are unsung. Those are my heroes. I worship them and I look up to them. And the fact that they struggled and they went through this, and I know what they went through because I feel it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I have so much respect for that, and that'll just mean that I'm in those leagues.
Well,
So.
and it feels like you're especially with a new record. You
Dude, I'm gonna kill myself right now.
don't do that.
I should joke
That
about
would
that.
be it.
I should joke about that. But I got really dark there for a second. But focusing on death is actually focusing on life.
Right, because we only have so much time.
Right, YOLO.
Yeah,
It's
true though. Like
Yeah.
it as
But you don't
cliche
like
as that
Drake?
is. He did drop a YOLO, but yeah, I hear you. Like you,
Wait, Drake invented YOLO?
I don't think he invented it, but it's a
No,
song, right?
that
Yeah.
goes back to like
Yeah. But it feels like you're in a spot just listening to you talk. It feels like you're in a spot where you're just happy to make the music you're making and you want to leave a print, and the new record sounds like that. Like you're not worried about any of the outside bullshit that goes on with the music industry. You're just telling everybody it's gonna kill me because I'm gonna
Right.
do it forever because I love this shit.
right.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Well, the record is an unofficial apology. Honestly, that really came into view for me when I made the last song, Gold Records. the last song on the record was made after I Googled. Wait a minute. Are gold records gold? And I just thought the symbolism of the music industry and the fact that we were chasing a carrot or a rabbit or whatever.
It didn't mean anything.
It is meaningless.
Yeah.
All it is an accolade, in praise or whatever. But so the whole conceit behind gold records is that I'm sorry to my family for sacrificing all this because I thought, there's a line that's like, at the end of the pot at the end of the rainbow is just weed.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's trying to pay you in weed like all the time.
Well, back to bartering. There you go.
I think I did it tonight.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
did.
I mean, I'll empty out my wallet and empty out my backpack, and we'll see how I get paid.
Yeah,
It's pretty clear.
You had a bunch of cords
Cables,
in there too.
yeah, cables and weed. I wish I got paid in cables, actually.
But yeah, so it's cool that you've got that perspective, and I think that just comes with being older and having been through it. Like, you don't necessarily maybe know that at 22, probably don't know that at 32, but at our age, you get a little older, you see how the game's played.
I get sad that musicians get phased out after a certain age, because I feel like you gain wisdom and you become a better writer. That's why all the the great writers had their the great writers like Chris Christopherson or Tom Waits or even Dylan. Like they just had this view of the world and of themselves in relation to it that made them able to talk about things that were super real and super visceral, and they became better writers. They became more mature writers. So we just keep phasing out everybody that some of our great friends in this scene. I know great people who are like have given up on music because they're 30. And now
crazy.
like I saw like crazy potential in you, and now you're just gonna work at Applebee's for the rest of your fucking life.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Because you need to make a bag.
Well, you can do more of the work at Applebee's and be a musician today than you could when you started too, though. Like that the internet and technology has come to the point where you can be a weekend warrior. You can play shows on the weekend. You could work your 9 to 5 or your 410s and get out there and be an artist still too, which is nice.
Right.
I think that's brought more people who've been around a little while back to the fold, which is good.
Yeah,
but
I definitely think that, I don't know, sometimes it's tentative with people that have been through the ringer or the business, or they've tried to make it, and every time they've been like, hey, it's me, it's my face, and this is my voice, what do you think? We don't like it. No thanks, we
you
don't
get
like
beaten
it.
down by it.
They did that so many times, and then they just became, honestly just hurt by that, and they don't have, like, people's dreams literally die.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
they do.
And it's sad. So I'm just here. I'm gonna try to have a dream like as long as I can. I have a situation right now where I make enough money in my royalties that I think that I can stay alive, and as long as I can stay alive, then I can just do what I'm doing and just keep making music and not even worry about anybody else in the rest of the world. And
So Dave, the title
just
track,
fall off my horse.
they took my royalty, they took my dignity. I'm still out here like a fool. So that contradicts what you just said.
Yeah, well, it is foolish.
It is foolish.
Yeah.
No, actually, it's in line with it.
It's vain. It's narcissistic. It's foolish. It's self-indulgent. But is it needed as well?
Yeah.
Like, I do think it's needed. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And if there's going to be 1 zillion artists and everyone has 1 fan, then okay, cool. I'll play too.
Right. Yeah. Like, well,
Yep.
like in a literal sense, what is the alternative? It's the hot dog up the ass playing for one person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much of a resume. In the jobs that I did have, the second someone was like, "Hey, you want to open for the Roots?" I was like, "Fuck y'all."
Yeah.
Like every job. So it's hard to get a resume like, "Yeah, he threw the stereo out the window and left." Like, when he was 12.
Yeah.
So yeah, there isn't really an alternative. I just I'm trying to do this with dignity. I'm trying to get through this whole thing. Getting old, not being cool. No, I'm just kidding. I'm cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to think about, and did not think we'd go here, but I love that we are here because this is a cool conversation
Well, it's an
about
interesting
music.
thing to write about because what else should I write about? Like, I heard Andre 3000 made a flute album because he was like, well, what do you talk about when he's like 41 or something? He's like, what do you talk about when you're 41? And I thought about that, and I was just like, well, if you've spent your life doing this one thing and you know this unique world that no one knows about, like, it's a memoir then. You know what I mean? Like, so, and that's very much like I wrote Aaron Neville's last record, both his last record he put out and his last record of his career that began in the 50s.
That's crazy.
And it was about his life, and he wanted to make an album about his life. He wanted me to, I interviewed him for hours. I had like 300 pages of poems and letters that he had written, and I wrote about his life. And then I got through that whole process and was just like, you know, like, I had this kind of interesting experience too. So that's what I write about.
Yeah.
But I'm not exclusively that, but the last two projects that I've put out, that's been the focus, especially on the music industry's trying to kill me. And it's, I mean, there's been a billion troubadours who've written about, On the Road, Wanted Dead or Alive, and Bon Jovi type. What's the Motley Crue song?
Which one?
Every rose has its thorn.
No, that's
God,
poison,
that's
right?
poison.
That's
Yeah.
poison.
Home Sweet Home.
Yeah.
There's always those kind of songs. I wanted to kind of do that type of thing, but with like, I've been trying to be funny lately with my stuff personally, and I've always had themes to like what perspective I'm singing from. So I was in a band called Paranoid Social Club, and so those were all mental health things. They're all based on mental health, like a psychology book, Axis 1 through 6. That's all parts of that. And we would try to stay within depression or hypertension or anxiety and all these different, things for that. And Rustic was always this hopeful theme, like spiritual but not religious, kind of based on Pat Corrigan, our artist. On our very first record, he did the album cover, and he drew this character with like these angel wings, and that kept going through all our albums. And as he kept using this imagery, I felt kind of a responsibility to write some hopeful, heroic kind of stuff. So, songs that came later were very intentionally like that, like Light at the End, and a lot of the New Way Out stuff that we did with orchestrations and all that was intentionally sonically hopeful and triumphant. But that was kind of the vibe for that. Armies was a conversation between two people in a relationship. That was a duet I did with Anna Lombard. And so this one is just kind of, it's the autobiographical version of me.
Was that the plan from the jump?
No,
because this
no
is your
plan
debut
from the jump.
full length, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That
It's
is
like
crazy.
first- yeah,
Right.
As much time as you spent making music that you never
right.
did it before.
Yeah, I looked at you guys, you say you're on Audacity.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you probably like go to your Finder and you type in like whatever Audacity file is called, and it shows you like how many you have in like April or whatever in the Finder. When I looked at the first of the year, I had like 3,000 something Ableton sessions.
Wow.
Which was, someone did the math that it was 5 songs a day for the whole year.
Wow.
I had produced, or at least opened a session and started something.
So it's funny. We're in a position where we can appreciate that because we do the podcast every week for 5 years. I
Right.
can't even
Just
comprehend
storage-wise.
that.
Yeah.
Storage-wise.
Oh my God.
I can't even
Yeah.
comprehend
Yeah.
that shit. Like,
Yeah.
are you in here all day?
Where's the server?
I do. And I recently had a drug problem. And what that would do was it made me twice as powerful. and I could go for twice as long. And I wouldn't need food. I wouldn't need sleep. I wouldn't need anything. And I was always around people that were stimulated, and they were talking like about their relationship with their mother or some shit in the corner while everyone's doing drugs and I'm writing songs. So everyone's feelings are like rising to the top, and I'm able to lyrically like find these moments that are perfect while constantly refreshing my brain and getting like zonked and it'd go for days. And the output from that is a lot of it is the record that you guys that we're talking about. And I was never not proud of the music that I made when I was very, very high on drugs. And I have a poor kid mentality. So if you offer me something of value, I'm going to take it. And a lot of times if you're out on the road and stuff, you're deprived of so much that you're just like, yeah, sound dude, what's up? Yeah, I'll take your drugs and I'll go, sleep in this garage all night and do whatever because, why not? I'm fucking bored and no one ever gives me anything.
Yeah.
So that mentality, I realized my wife was like, she was like, you're so punk rock in every aspect except when it comes to drinking and drugs. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I've raged my face off. She was like, yeah, but that's how people can control you. And I was like,
wow. Yeah, that's deep shit, right?
Yeah, and I was also giving drugs and alcohol a lot of credit for like what I do.
Yeah.
And I've been taking the last few weeks I've been trying to like outsmart the other me to prove that to myself. So I've been pushing myself to be like, see, you can write.
Yeah,
see,
you don't need
that stuff to write. You didn't do your vocal all unhinged and crazy because of tequila. You did it because you're unhinged and crazy. You know what I mean? Like, so I was giving it a lot of credit, and I don't like to deprive myself of credit or dignity. I spent my 40s apologizing for my 30s, and now I feel like I'm in a spot where it's just like, I've had my fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, man, we had some good times.
I bet.
I can still taste it.
Well, I think you almost, I don't want to speak for you, but I almost feel like you almost had to do that to get to this point, right?
Well, that's another part of it is networking on drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. People would be like, oh, dude, you're all fucked up. Don't talk to that guy. That guy is more fucked up than you are. And like, there's a club in New York City that I won't say its name. It's a very prestigious club. And I wanted to get my band to play there forever. We had booking agent after booking agent, manager after manager, emailing these people, calling them, sending our packages there by snail mail. And then one night, I'm in New York City, and I meet this girl, and she's with the guys that own the club, and we hang out and we do drugs all night. Now I can play there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Now I can play there. It's easy.
I mean, what other industry would that be a thing?
It's usually entertainment.
Right?
Yeah, it's usually entertainment.
Yeah.
And so that's another part of it. So I had to give up the thing where it's like, okay, I can make 7 songs in 4 days. That number, I think, gets higher every time I say it. But but anyway, I could and I can feed off all these people's energy, and I can go and stay up all night with this club owner and get this connection. I have to give up all those things. So it's like when you break up with somebody. Like when you're a musician, I feel like quitting drugs is like, okay, well, if I break up, I'm not going to have a place to live, our kids, whatever. There's all these factors to consider where I don't know if there are usually with anyone else. They might just be like, oh, well, maybe I won't go to poker night, or maybe I won't go bowling where I drink, or maybe I won't drink there or whatever. I don't know. It's just can be a double-edged sword in this industry, and it can be really tough. So I had to give up all those things too, and just be like, whatever. But the cool thing is the young people that are coming in now are less self-destructive than the generations past. Like they're like, you guys are fucking crazy. So it's easier to network them or with like some kombucha. I had quinoa today, try to attract younger fans. Just out in public, like
just walk through Whole Foods.
Instagram, quinoa. I didn't even eat it. Shit's gross.
Yeah, just walk through Whole Foods and you'll find a couple people in the all natural produce section. It's much different than it used to be, especially with that group. They're a little more conscious of not doing that, which is probably a good thing. And that's a pendulum swinging back to the other way, right?
Right.
Well, Dave, I'll say this as fans of you for like quarter century.
Years? Yeah.
That feels weird to say quarter century, right? when this came out that you were releasing an album, it's like, okay, it's separate from Rustic, it's separate from Armies, it's separate from Paranoid. It's just you. And then we listen to it and we hear the theme. Like, I like the theme on its own, right? But then it comes from you who's lived it. And that's a whole different thing. Because like we're talking about the Bieber thing. It's like you can play the game.
Yeah, anybody could
and
write
not
that.
mean it.
Right. Anybody could write that and not mean it. But if you
to have
a little weight behind it.
Yeah. It's authentic. Dignity. It's with dignity. It's authentic.
Well, thanks. I really appreciate that. That was the goal going into it. And I did, I knew it was like a slippery slope because it can be just like a whiny, ungrateful, stupid thing. But I also am talking of the whole time like it's a relationship. Like I'm enamored. It's like a toxic relationship with music because I do love it. And I do show in the album how much I love it. I talk about how much I love it. It's like an obsession. So I'm glad you guys picked up on that. And the cool thing about putting out this album is I got more like press from this album than any other album I've ever put out ever.
Wow. Insane.
All over the world because it was like, this is what this is. This is what you talk about. It was like realized as a package, exactly what you were talking about. So journalists were like, okay, this is like not trying to rehash the same thing, writing about a different hipster band every day. This is something that's kind of different. A funny thing happened though. I bought ads last week for the first time to try to like sell some albums and get some new fans. And so I bought $100 worth of ads on Instagram, and all I got, I don't know, maybe I targeted the wrong people or just the album cover attracted the wrong people because I had got all these comments that were like, Kiss already did that, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, obviously, like this is, that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
I'll say this, as huge music geeks, to see the nice price sticker on there, it was like, Nate, we have a third host, but he said something about nice price like 3 years ago, and I hadn't heard of it for like 20 years. Like, oh my God, the nice price.
Yeah.
I wish I could put the album in the security plastic.
Oh my God.
Record
Can't steal this thing. How are you going to break it up when you get home? Yeah.
It was $19 back in early 2000s.
CD Authority, baby. South Portland represent.
Woo. Kevin knew the nice price because Kevin, you haven't talked very much. I've been doing all the talking.
Well, because it's your episode.
So can I ask you a question, Kevin? Dave is very funny on this album. Is that just something he brought up for this album, or has that been there?
No, if you go
the lyrics are brilliant, by the way.
They're great.
Yeah, Dave has always been self-deprecating.
Yeah,
I think he's been a towering force in music, especially for all of us that grew up here. But he's always, the first song on Rooms by the Hour, Feast Your Famine.
Oh my God, one of my favorites.
He's authenticity is there, but no, Dave is always there. There's always been something very funny in his lyrics if you really dig in there. This is just much more overt.
Well, we're talking the new album, The Velvet Rope. 1 foot inside the door, but the shoe don't fit. And I'm like,
my God,
I've only been a part of this for 5 years as a podcast. That's fucking us.
Yeah.
Like we're in, but we are not even close.
Or like you
hole.
get by the first Velvet Rope, as Chris Ballou told us from Presidents, and then there's another Velvet Rope, and then there's another Velvet Rope. Like you got no chance.
Well, it's like when I went to the Grammys, there was like my song won a Grammy, but there are places I couldn't go. But my song's in there.
Yeah.
Can I go in? Yeah. Like, no, I'm sorry, sir, you can't go in.
Yeah, who are you?
At that point, I was just like, my song is bigger than I am. This is amazing.
Yeah. That's got to be kind of a double-edged, like, it feels weird, right? Like, because it's something you created, so it's you, but it's also, like, it didn't get you to anything that you were, like, maybe thought you could get to. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm here. I won. Why can't I go in there?
But then I did talk my way in eventually.
I could see that.
So, Dave, have you been doing the co-writing and writing beyond your own stuff for years, and like this was like the one that people finally saw?
Yeah, this one, that song was written 8 years before it won a Grammy.
Oh wow.
Head explosion, right?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
But it was on the soundtrack to Take Me to the River, a documentary about New Orleans and like the music scene there. And it was like the credit track, it was like the lead track, the single for the album. Also like Downbeat Jazz Magazine like named it as like the best New Orleans song of
That's
like
cool.
the year.
From the
that
Maine,
year.
from the guy
And-
from Maine.
Yeah, exactly. And I was writing it by getting information from Aaron, and I was up here in a blizzard, and I'm fucking like talking about Mardi Gras and
Yeah.
shit. You know, it's like, okay. So I really had to like use my imagination. But yeah, it was made 8 years before, and then it just was in that movie, and that happened, and it was amazing.
That's crazy.
Didn't even expect. I went, and for some reason didn't think it was a possibility that I'd win. Maybe I just wanted to talk myself down, you know. But
Yeah,
before you get too excited, you know, you got Dolly Parton in your category, and you got you know, all these other people. So I was like really surprised that so surprised that I brought my daughter with me. And you know, she's old enough. I mean, she was like 16, but I left her because I didn't know that you go up and you get your Grammy, and then they take you off in the back. And then you're just gone, and you're doing photos for like an hour.
Oh wow.
And then you're doing all this stuff, and I'm just like, my daughter, I just like left her.
Yeah.
And I said, I texted her. I was like, where are you? She's like, I'm by the bathrooms. I'm like, there's 2 bathrooms. Which one are you at? And she's like, I'm at the one by Lizzo and Nas.
Wedge between.
Because Lizzo was wearing like this crazy outfit and had this crazy hairstyle. So like I just walked out and saw Lizzo, and then my daughter's just chilling behind her, and we're all crying because we won.
I mean,
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's. I think you get some stats to one, but that's pretty rare. It's
Well,
it's
it's
pretty
funny.
rare thing to win a Grammy.
Before I left the house, my wife Alicia, I was like, "Hey, we're interviewing Dave. You know him from Rustic, but he's, you know, brilliant musician." And I was like, "He's a Grammy winner." And she's like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Wait, that didn't elicit a response beyond okay." So I took it upon myself to look up some statistics, and Justin's in the background. He likes data. You ready for some stats?
He just
Sure.
You are more likely to get struck by lightning in your lifetime than to win a Grammy. The odds of being drafted into the NBA are 1 in 3,300. Winning a Grammy is still rare.
unless you're Cooper Flag from Maine, which shout out again.
Right.
And this one shocked me to my core
Podioslave.
here. There are more living billionaires than there are Grammy winners this last year.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Amazing.
Very, very appropriate for
There
the
you
course
go.
of this
Yeah.
And so
conversation.
I dropped
with
that on
Anthony.
her, and she's like, "Oh,
Nerd
a
voyance.
Grammy's like a big deal." I'm like, "Yes, a Grammy's a big deal."
Especially when you don't think you're gonna win. Like you do this thing, you there's no pretense to trying to win a Grammy with it, right?
You know, the whole thing about it was that, like, I remember like a year before I got a Grammy, I was watching this documentary about Olympians who are now losers. And I was watching it, being like, these suckers, whatever. Then I'm like, a Grammy, let's go! And I spent like $3,000 on a tuxedo and getting out there and getting my daughter a custom-made dress. And then I'm like, oh, now here I am, the Olympian. But yeah, today I was talking to somebody who's a Grammy board member, which I also am, but I wouldn't vote for myself. So I was talking.
You should.
I don't wear my own T-shirt.
Fair.
I don't vote for
You
myself.
sniff your own
Fair.
parts. Okay.
So anyway, I was asking him. I was like, I want to try to get a Grammy for this album. I think it would be really funny and ironic. And now I'm like hooked on getting Grammys ever since I got one. Like every year since has just been a little more deflated than the one before. So we got to get another Grammy. We got to get back. And I also wanted to make a little documentary about the process of lobbying and how it works and all that. Again,
Yeah.
to like the layman, like how you get your music and how you get your flowers and what is really happening. So I kind of wanted to do both. I wanted to win a Grammy for my own ego, make my parents a little spurt of pride.
Mhm.
And then also, but kind of show that anyone who can lobby and can try to, I mean, I put money. I don't have any money, but I'm going to try to get money to put behind it. I'm hoping to get like a billboard. I'm basically doing like the Nathan Fielder
Nice.
school
Yeah.
of getting a Grammy.
I love this. This is a great
but
idea.
what Dave said to me was, he was like, well, you know that there's like no difference between, he's like, you already have a Grammy. And I was like, yeah, but I want another one.
2 would be cool.
And he's like, there's like no difference between 1 Grammy and 2 Grammys. but there's a big difference between 0 Grammys and 1 Grammy.
It's true. Yeah, it's
So
And I
Brian
was like, oh.
Scalabrine NBA back to the sports thing.
Yeah.
Fuck
Oh, shit.
you
We're doing it
guys.
again.
The
You
gap
asked if there was one thing off. Now, can we get into that juicy stuff? What are you going to ask me about? Like,
Did we have? I don't think we have juicy
There
stuff.
was no
but-
juicy stuff.
yeah.
There was
Oh.
nothing there. It was a bait and switch.
Yeah.
oh,
No, we
you want some?
we do it. Yes. We like to try to make our guests comfortable before we start recording, and it's often awkward. And it was again today. So
It's more. We've learned it's more awkward in person.
it's
actually,
yeah. It's
lesson learned.
awkward
We'll
on
never
Zoom
do that
too.
again.
It's awkward on Zoom too. Always like rifle through. Hey, you can swear if you want to. Yeah, we won't have any gotcha questions. If you don't like something, we'll cut it. You know that shit. And you're like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? All right, maybe we'll clean that up a little bit.
I find when it gets awkward, you can't really backpedal. It's like closer to the
Yeah.
other side. Just keep going with it.
Mhm.
It's the
Own it.
legal disclaimer that you click through, and you told us you just clicked through anyway.
Yeah, I
And
just
only
decide
on-
whatever.
Only awkward because you're right. Like if you try to backpedal, that's awkward too. And now you're back to I wasn't cool to begin with. Now I'm really not cool. So don't even worry about it.
So, do you remember, like, how do they notify you when you're nominated? Is it like an email?
Yeah, I thought it was a spam.
Oh shit!
I thought
Yeah.
I thought I'd been like, what have I been Googling? Like some dreamer shit. I've been Googling some shit, and now they're like, because they literally are like, if you want tickets, you get 1 ticket free. Any additional tickets are like $500.
Oh wow.
Holy shit!
So I got my daughter a ticket,
Yeah.
but it was like, I get this email being like, you're nominated for a Grammy, and just put your credit card info here. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah, sure. But I was actually supposed to be nominated for a different song. I don't even remember what song it was now. But there was supposed to be another song that had made it to the last round of considerations, and we didn't even know because it was a soundtrack. We didn't know that Aaron Neville was even nominated because we made it 8
Holy
years
shit.
ago. So I got the news while I was on the phone. I was like waiting to like see when they announced who it was, and I was looking for who was it? Maybe it was one of Eric Krasno's albums or Talib Kweli.
Mm-hmm.
But it was someone that I worked with that year, and I looked it up, and I was like, oh, we didn't get it. And like less than like a breath later, I get a notification on my phone, both that email and then after I checked my Instagram, and like my publishing company posted like congratulations
Wow.
for this song. So it was a total surprise. And I did think I was really suspicious of that email for a long time. I didn't.
I would
Yeah.
be too,
How
man.
long you
Yeah.
sit on it for? You're like, it's like report this to your security department.
Yeah.
Let's,
Yeah.
But then once you win the Grammy, so you have to be. This was a performance Grammy, which means they did a sick live version of the song, and it was in the movie. But I wrote the song, and the song won a Grammy. But you have to be performing to get the actual medal. So what I didn't know is all the other guys that like helped on the production and the songwriting, everything, they were all like, "Oh yeah, I played tambourine. Oh yeah, that was me on Triangle."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That was
And
me on
so they all
recorder.
got the awards, and I just got this shitty piece of paper. I literally had to go buy my own frame for it. It's literally just a piece of paper. They make you pay for it. This is bullshit.
That maybe that if you're cool with it, maybe that piece of paper makes the socials later. Who knows?
I keep almost giving it to people.
Nah, you gotta hang on to that.
Kevin
You gotta
wants
hang
it.
on
He's
to
like,
that.
I need that.
This is a good spot for it though.
If someone like saves my mother's life, like they carry her from a burning building, I'll be like, bro, have this piece of paper.
Because they still can't take away the Grammy.
There's still a lot of area on it that you could write if you needed it for like actual paper. The whole back is blank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can write a
it's
song
still-
on it.
Even though there's all this text on it, it's still a perfectly good piece of paper.
No, that's amazing. You're right. Dave is funny.
It's a swindle.
Well, I would have been very skeptical of that email too, and especially where it's like, hey, and give us some money too. Like, all right, well, this seems like bullshit.
Yeah, I'm 50. Aaron Neville's like 75.
Yeah.
Like you and your 75-year-old friend are getting a grand. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
nice try.
Sure.
Elder abuse. Let's go.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about it was Aaron Neville, like from the get-go, was like, "Oh, I'm not going to be able to make it. You guys can go and accept the award for me." And then after we won, we were like FaceTiming with him backstage, and we're like, "Oh man, you should have been here." And he's like, "Oh, I've got 10 other Grammys."
Yeah.
And this is
one of many.
like for you guys. Like he gave this like acceptance and all that to us.
That's cool.
Yeah, and he texted me today. He texts me all
That's
the time.
awesome.
Aaron
That's
Neville
awesome.
texts me constantly.
That's amazing.
He did my daughter was doing a presentation at her school about the civil rights movement, and she was like, "Do you think that he would like talk in a video because he was like there in the civil rights movement? He's part of it." And so I asked him, I was like, "Could you like film yourself just saying something about the civil rights movement?" And he filmed himself for 30 minutes
Wow.
talking about his brother and one of his good friends who was beaten to death
Wow.
by police during the civil rights movement. It was actually like really graphic for like her junior high school class,
Yeah.
but it was real as fuck. And it was like super gangster, and like it was so gangster of him to do it for me,
Yeah.
like to give that much. And he also is my mom's favorite singer.
Wow.
So when I got the gig, it was a huge deal. But he sang "Happy Birthday" to my mom
wow.
on her birthday,
That's so cool.
and so like he's the fucking man. He's like such an amazing human being, and he was telling me stories about like doing acid with the Beatles.
Not
know
many
what I
people
mean?
can say that.
No.
Doing acid with the Beatles, hanging out with Marvin Gaye and
Yeah.
James Brown and Aretha Franklin, and he's one of the last living soul legends that came from there. And he's like 80 and he's jacked. He will like smack all our heads together.
Yeah,
Like,
So do you get? I'm curious because like we know the history, like David Bowie, Funkmaster Flex, Tretch,
Being on
Naughty by
Nature. Yeah, that blew my
It's
mind.
like,
as
is this kind of old
14-year-old.
hat, or is it like holy shit? Like,
oh, it's always really exciting. It's always like adrenaline flowing.
Yeah.
I mean, even like any time, even now around, even Evan, like there's a guy in town that plays with like Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter,
crazy.
and
Bleachers.
he's in Bleachers,
Nice.
Right on.
and he works with Jack Antonoff like exclusively. But he lives in Portland, and he did some of the co-production on my album, and he plays all the saxophone stuff on
Nice.
my album. He did a little
Oh,
keyboard
shit.
stuff. But I still get like starstruck around him, and he's like one of my good friends. Like I see him all the time, and I'm just like, "Oh, hey man, what's up?"
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I Googled you yesterday.
You're in my favorites. You're in my MySpace top 8.
You're
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
No,
That's
but
awesome.
it doesn't get old. And I was talking to somebody about like meeting our heroes and people who have had. I saw Father John Misty the other night, and I was with a bunch of people who've had experiences. Someone in the industry who's actually worked with him at a label, and she was like, "Yeah, I don't really like his music." And then finally, after a bunch of prodding, she was just like, "Well, yeah, he was kind of a dick to me." You know?
Yeah.
So I
The
was
truth
like,
is out.
I think about that. I posted this story a little while ago. I hate assuming people have seen something I posted or are talking about it, but about when I was 11, when we made our first cassette tape, Billy Joel. Have you heard the Billy Joel story?
No.
No. Yeah.
Have you heard it, Tony?
Nope.
Justin? No.
So
Kevin. Probably.
me
I
and,
have.
me and John Roots, OG, well, I think we were called Aces Wild then. That was when we first started.
Wow.
My dad was like, "Billy Joel's playing in town. You're going to bring him your demo tape, and he's going to get you guys on an opening act on his tour or something." And so, great idea. This sounds like it's going to work. So we go to the back door of the Civic Center. We're knocking. No answer. Look back at the car. Dad, he's like, keep knocking. We're like, okay. And then he just says, keep knocking. We kick the door, hitting the door. We're yelling. And the door flings open. And it's Billy Joel.
Wow.
Whoa.
And we didn't even get to say anything. We just like held out our tape. We grabbed the tape, smashed it on the tar in the alley, and said, "Fuck off, kids."
Wow.
No way.
Yeah.
That took a turn.
Yeah.
That's not expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I sucked his dick, and it was like crazy. He introduced me to Clive Davis, and then from there,
That's why he
that's,
keeps coming back to Maine.
No,
Yeah.
that was the end of the story before.
Yeah.
Dave is very funny. Like you just went up a notch.
Yeah.
Anytime you say "suck dick" on a podcast, it's
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, they're funny."
Yeah.
This guy a comedian?
Yeah. But yeah, that's wild.
But yeah, that kind of taught me early, like, to not be mean to people.
It did?
Yeah, I know I was kind of mean to you. I was kind of mean to you a little bit. No, I wasn't mean to you. I was brutally honest at all times, and I still am.
Yes, fact.
And I don't think it does anyone any good to placate their ego or whatever in this music, because here, us in our bands, we're all trying to elevate each other. We're all trying to play each other's music, and Kevin's not going to come to me with a song that sounds like he's trying to be me. He's going to be trying to be himself, and the Mallet Brothers are themselves, and Spose is himself. Yep. And, whatever you have for preferences with any of these bands, you can't take away from main bands that they're original, because you can't really pinpoint a big national band that sounds exactly like anyone around here.
I would agree with that.
So you don't have to, that's why we're good, is we've always raised the bar. We've always tried to impress each other, so like also be honest, and part of what got me a lot of the writing gigs I got, me and Eric Krasno called ourselves the No Men for a while, because it's the opposite of Yes Men. Because first of all, I don't know if you understand these things, but we talk about being nervous to meet David Bowie. But what about to hold a page and sing at him?
Right.
And be like, I want you to do this. Ha, and ha. Like, and that impression could do both Aaron Neville and David Bowie.
Yeah, it works.
Ziggy Stardust era. But, like, you have to sing to this person. It's pretty unnerving.
Well, this person who's a legend.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's one thing if you're just singing at us idiots in the room, but you're singing at the person who's a legend.
There was another point to that, but it just turned into name dropping. And like,
which you can do. I mean,
yeah. Well, you've been around, man. You've seen some shit.
Do you know where things live when you create?
Yeah, I do. I do. When I make something, sometimes even now, I'll write a song and I'll be like, oh, that would actually be a good Paranoid song.
Wow.
And I'll kind of like set
even
it to
for
the
like
side.
older stuff. Yeah.
I'll set it to the side and like maybe we'll never do it, or maybe we will. But I do like to keep things separate, because there is an intent to all the things I do. A fun fact. So Rustic's career has this backwards, weird, encrypted thing. So the first song we ever put out that was on the radio, our first single, was called 20 Years. And then 20 years later, we put out our last album called Self-Titled, which is usually your first album.
Yeah.
So we kind of like did this backwards thing through like decades of planning. And I used to get in arguments with Clive Davis, another name drop. But I guess the fact that he hated me and I hated him, in like only in a professional way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only
Mutual
like,
love and respect.
Only in like, okay, we don't see eye to eye artistically. But I was always talking about a concept album. I felt this pressure when we started getting a lot of money behind us and this mechanism that could get us to be a household name. If I was going to be on the radio, I want to be that one song on the radio that's like, oh yeah, I love that song. That's the good one, of this year, and I wanted to have an impact. I felt a responsibility to say something important and to talk about things that are important and not be fluff. And so I was always arguing about, no, I want to make a concept record that's all about one thing and it all ties back together, like Tommy and like all these great concept records of the past. And then since then, that's all I've done, really. I mean, like Light at the End was just a few new songs and then, like B-sides from our recording sessions with Viva. But then all the records we made after that, even New Way Out, Let's Start a Call Part 1 and Part 2, Self-Titled, both my solo albums and all the Paranoid albums have all been concept albums.
Is it easier to write that way?
Yeah, it's kind of like when you want to listen to music. Say back in the day you wanted to listen to music, you got your CD wallet, you got like 30 CDs to choose from. But now you go to, I won't even say their name, you go to Tidal.
Yeah.
And you go to Tidal and it's like, okay, there's everything in the world. There's Bulgarian hymns and jazz and there's heavy metal and there's blues from 1900 until now, and a billion artists came out every year. What the fuck do I listen to? And if you narrow that down, if someone was like, okay, remember Thursday's Jazz Day. So when Jazz Day comes, you're going to be like, oh, I know what to listen to a little bit better. I've refined my search. That's what it's like writing. The more closed in you can get on what you're writing about, the better you can okay, it's not, because usually writer's block is not a lack of ideas. I think for every writer, writer's block is too many ideas.
Lack of focus, probably, right? Yeah.
Right, and there's too many possibilities.
Too many avenues.
And
to
every
go
time
down.
you start to plug something in, you get self-doubt or whatever. But if you can get that down to something a little bit simpler, like, okay, this is a song about a girl who drank a beer out of a can, and then you just start riffing on that idea. So, yeah, the concept albums, what that does is it maintains in kind of a larger scope, but basically what you want to talk about, the kind of things you want to make people feel is more what it is than necessarily like the lyrics, like preaching to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's saying words that will make people feel a certain way, and an arc to that.
Well, yeah, and having not just having 3 minutes to do it, maybe having 50 minutes to do it, or 35 minutes to do it.
Exactly.
So you can do your one piece that's going to be this feeling, but you're going to have, it's going to hit because later on I'm going to do this and maybe call back a little bit, but it'll be a little different, and yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's entertainment, and I'm not trying to, when I say all this stuff about like pop music and that being not for me, I guess pop music is short for popular. I want to be popular, and I want the music to be understood, and I want it to be relatable, but just kind of on my terms. If you want this, then come on over. I'm here doing it. Today I was actually thinking about the studio as like it's like a roadside like hot dog stand. You know what I mean? There's something, people who've eaten there are like, damn, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
But not everyone's eating there.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like a small little place. It's quaint, and they got a special thing going on. That's kind of like the lane I think a lot of artists have ended up in, this like niche lane. And what I like about the oversaturation is you have to be really fucking different to stand out.
Mm-hmm.
So you do have a lot of people doing wildly insane things. There's people like that make stupid videos on Instagram, and you can diss them or whatever if they make a song about doing their housework or whatever, some like housewife. But like a lot of times it's like, dude, those are really good lyrics about like cleaning your house, and like I respect that. So I don't really diminish any art like that. Even though I don't like making content, I fucking love scrolling on my phone. That's all I fucking do.
Yeah, we all do it.
Well, it's funny. Like 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to relate, but doing this podcast, I'm like, I ain't budging. So you're either here or you're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The people that it's there for will find it, I hope. Have they found it, Tony?
Some people. Yeah. I mean, you always want more, right? We could hit another threshold and be like, well, can we get up there? Like, which is, that's, I would imagine, for anybody creating that wants their stuff to be out there for people to find it. But yeah, so a couple people. There's a few out there.
Can I ask you guys some questions about me?
Shit, yeah, let's go.
I don't know. I just asked something stupid like, "What do you love most about me?"
Well,
do you? No, I guess I would like to. I would like to kind of know, like, I write for other people. It's very easy to look at Aaron Neville and be like, "Oh, you're a big, strong guy with face tats who sings like an angel."
Mm-hmm.
I know what to write for you. I know what your fans would like to hear. I know what people picture you like. Doing that to myself is much harder. Being like, okay, this is what people want. This is what, everyone sees like Al Green or like James Brown's dead, R.I.P. But a lot of the older guys, you're just like, dude, just make a record that sounds like 1965, bro. Just do it. Just do it. What would you guys tell me that I should just do? Just do it. Just do this. Just, people want this from you. This is what people think you are.
I'll answer that real quick. So I think before, maybe even this self-titled, maybe even before the self-released solo album, I would have said, hey, Viva era, Rooms era, Rustic. But I'm like, I'm hearing this. I'm like, that, I can appreciate that. That had to happen for you to get here. And I'm like, I'm speaking for you. 50-year-old, 25-year-old Dave couldn't have written this new album.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I wouldn't point you back to there. It's like, no, like, do this.
Right. Well, we never did the same thing twice.
Mm-hmm.
Like we never had like Long Division sounds way different than Rooms by the Hour.
Absolutely.
Sounds
Way
way
more
different
jammy,
than Viva Nueva, which sounds every record and it was purposeful because like all praise to like bands like Primus, but I use them as an example here because Primus is a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
They do it well.
They do it
the same
great,
thing.
but you know exactly what you're going to get. And at least with my music, I kind of wish I could do that, but I have a really hard time going into something that sounds like territory I've already treaded over and feeling like a parody of myself. So for me, it's always been about the exploration of music. And, you know, Rustic would spend hours in our van traveling, all playing each other music, all like elevating each other's, you know, taste and our knowledge of music. So the exploration, I love doing something that is unfamiliar. So that's why every record is different. Like, so like, even though, you know, a lot of people make a record and maybe the 2 records that came out within this 5-year period, they kind of sound similar. They are produced similar. We never did that. So we never went back to Viva Nueva even then.
Yeah, that's the only one that sounds like that. For sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, to answer your question, I'm not sure. Like,
should I scream more? No.
Do you still want to now? Do you still feel like that's something that conveys what you're doing?
I scream more now, like when I like see a mouse or fall down.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, but I didn't know if I should do it not just non-recreationally, but maybe as part of my repertoire. Sometimes I feel like people get mad if you rock less. Like I'm not at the point where I'm ready to make an album of jazz standards.
Right.
Oh,
you could though.
Me.
You could though. You did some of that back in the day. I mean, you had some jazzy stuff back in the day.
Pink Belly.
Yeah, love that song. Part of History Crush. This songs, right? Like it's out there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You could. Yeah. I mean, maybe the next one's got a little more that.
Right.
Get some of that more of that angst out. So we all still have it. Even as you age, you still have angst. Like we all do. But yeah, I mean, if you feel like you could still do it and it's something that you want to convey, I feel like you could absolutely still do it. But I don't know, like as I've aged, the sharp tongue, the giving a shit about stuff that is trivial has kind of melted away for me to an extent. There's still things that, you know, you rub you the wrong way, but I'd be less of a screamer at my age than I was at 25.
Right. Well, it doesn't hurt. A lot of people think, Kevin, you have a scream too. And a lot of people think it hurts. The scream actually doesn't hurt. It's actually like a lot of like phlegm, and like hardcore singers talk about it sometimes, but it's very close to the mic and it's very and that's not why people are like, oh, no wonder you got nodes from going, wah!
Yeah.
Well,
like that's all it is.
You asked if you should scream more. It would have been out of place on the new album.
Okay.
The new one. I think you still do it, but the new one, I mean, maybe one. You could have put one in
there is
there.
one. Actually, you guys didn't listen very close.
You've outed me.
Yeah, there are a couple screams in there, but no, I just wonder. I guess whatever you said, I wasn't gonna do it. You know what I mean? I wasn't gonna be like, oh really?
I will say this, Dave.
I'm a contrarian.
Seeing you guys at age 15 through like
second
18,
show ever, Dave. You guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like that was a big appeal. Was the energy? Like, granted, you guys were like Slipknot up there. There was 9 people, but it was high energy, and you were a huge part of that. And the songs lended themselves to that. Where maybe some of the songs on the new album, they're meant to be sung. You know. Yeah.
Well, I go hard on the new record too, though.
Yep. You do. Yep.
I think my even though there's like polka and ska and country and stuff like that on the new record, and a lot of like weird psychedelic stuff, but
some marching band stuff in there too.
Yeah, there is.
See,
I
we
forgot
listen.
my whole point about this, but maybe if I just ramble on, I'll eventually come back to the point.
You asked us what we would have you do.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't have done it.
Right. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
No, I do appreciate that. I like to keep my finger on the pulse of who I am. I think being authentic will eventually pay off for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we're going in a way that a lot of people would disagree, and many aspects of the world I disagree, but in music, I think that we're going towards something that's better. And I've seen these waves of things happen in music. Like, I loved heavy metal. And then I saw Nirvana come along and make straight bitches, like literally bitches, of everyone that was glam rock.
Yep.
Like, I thought Motley Crue was badass. Like, no, they're not.
Yeah, right.
They're hot as fuck. You know what I mean?
Did they play in a gym with dim lights?
Yeah,
No.
right. And just look like they just roll out of bed and don't give a fuck about what you think. Yeah.
Right, but I've seen that happen a bunch of times over, and so I'm waiting for, like, and I think AI is actually it. So there's something I unfortunately I think it's Rick Rubin that might have said it.
Without shoes.
I do
I'm
not.
sure.
Yeah, I do not subscribe.
Was he barefoot?
Rick Rubin.
Probably barefoot, yeah.
I will argue with Rick Rubin all day long because I don't think you
I knew I
magically.
liked you, Dave.
He's leaving out a lot of the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Write one song, bro.
Yeah.
Write one song, and then you can write a book about writing songs. Anyway, he said, no, I don't even want to say it. He
Yeah.
said, AI is like punk rock. And I was like, how the fuck is he going to,
Yeah.
how's he going to defend this? I'm already skeptical, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because of all the other stuff he said. And he said when punk rock came about, was in a time in music, late 60s, early 70s, maybe before that or whatever, but when it really got popular, it was a thing that everyone was doing orchestrations. Most of your pop singers had big bands behind them, all this like crazy production. And then they're like, well, what if it's just these 3 chords?
Yeah.
And
And
it's
fast.
just these 3 chords, and it doesn't take much musical talent, but because we're working in this medium, new things are going to be invented. And that's what he was saying about AI. It's the type of thing where there's a thing, let's see what you do with it.
Let's simplify it.
I'm personally not using AI, but I use it for some things. Like I'll see some dude pass down the street, be like, Chat GPT, is this dude cooked or what?
Yeah, is he dead?
Yeah.
Should I call 911?
Yeah, but like I'm not afraid of AI because I think AI is going to make it so people crave the rasp in someone's voice.
Yeah, authenticity.
Absolutely.
No one's going to sound like robots anymore. Robots got that, dude. Oh, you're auto-tuned and you sound like a fucking robot. Like, it's not going to happen because the robot can do it way better than you, can write a way better song than you in that genre. But if you're going to make, like, an AI could not write anything on my album.
Yeah.
You know, it could not create anything that I made. It couldn't sing those lyrics. It couldn't, you know what I mean? So I think the people that exist outside of that are going to become more and more human. And so music that is made by people and then music that's made by the machine. And we can get rid of all those passive listeners. They can just go listen to whatever they like. But the people who really care about music or whatever will have people that don't walk that line between robotic perfection. They start to sound. You guys don't know Geese and Cameron Winter. They like break all the rules.
Who is it? Oh, Geese.
Cameron Winter is the singer of Geese. And they're just like, they don't care about anything. There's nothing that's off the table. And it's just, even if I don't like a song, I'll be like, well, that's a creative idea. Like, that's a, like, no one's like done this before. So I think there'll be more of that. So I have hope for music. I think it's going toward a better place. I think we're about to have that backlash.
Yep.
That Nirvana moment where everyone looks like an asshole except Dave. You know what I mean?
Well, there's some band that's going viral, and it's kind of one of these things that is just feeding itself because everyone's talking about it. But there's some band. Do you know the name?
Yeah,
It's
I've
like
posted
the
about it. I sent it
Winter
to you
Rainbows
guys.
or something.
The Velvet.
The Velvet
That's it.
band.
Yeah,
Yes.
the AI band.
The Velvet Rainbows.
Well,
or
the
something.
internet was like, this is ridiculous. Like, well, you just keep amplifying it, and that's why the numbers keep going up because we all went to check and see what it sounded like. Like, fuck that.
And I did, and it did nothing for me.
I did nothing
It
for
did
me.
nothing. I thought it
Because it was
sucked.
fucking
And-
soulless.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Well, once I was making an album recently, and in the album, I was wanting like, oh, I want this sound effect of like a person blowing a bubble, like popping a bubble. So I went to this YouTube page and I'm like, I'm just gonna jack this. I'm not gonna like, record it or whatever. I'm just gonna jack it off YouTube. And I was just trying to get this sound clip of someone blowing a bubble. And I looked in the video just of a girl blowing a bubble had so many thousands of millions of billions of streams, more than anything I'd ever done in my career. Anything, doesn't matter. David Bowie, Aaron Neville, Grammys, all that stuff. the girl popping the bubblegum bubble had way more views than I'd
Insane.
ever have. Does anyone have a lighter?
I might have one. I got you.
Time check. How we doing, Dave? Are we invading your
We're
world?
at
here?
9:10.
I'm here till 3 a.m, dude, and I love talking about music. We weren't recording any of that.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we're still going. I literally shut down every podcast that asked me to be on. Like, I'm there with a lampshade on my head. Last one at the party. You can't get rid of me. I'm already home. I'm here. This is my studio.
Yeah, good point.
No, but I'm just going to work on music after you guys. And this is honestly just getting me kind of pumped up to do that.
Good.
Nice.
Cool.
This took a complete different direction than we anticipated.
But I love it.
Okay.
It's been awesome.
I
That's why I like
I
being-
talk a lot.
But no, the in the room
No,
energy
it's
makes
natural.
it that much
It's-
better too. Like
this has been money. Yeah, if you told me we had a convo with you for 90 minutes and didn't talk Rustic much, I'd be like, oh, how was it? And now I lived it. I'm like,
That's
it's
mostly about
fucking
death.
awesome.
Yeah. it was
Mostly
cool.
about death.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, no, it's been great. It's been great.
When did we start? We're about 90 in.
Yeah, we're about 90, and we should probably think about rapping.
We think about rapping.
Oh, sweet. I love rapping.
You can rap.
Actually,
yeah.
hey, what did I text you? I go, Dave can rap.
You did. Yeah.
I've ghost written raps
Nice.
when I was on Tommy Boy. I used to
Yeah,
write.
because they had a lot of hip hop. You guys were the
Well,
only
that's
ones
all it
not,
was.
right? I mean,
Also, Arista we were one of 3 bands in the new forming rock department. It was us, the Bogmen from
I've heard the
New
name.
York. They're amazing. And this band from England called Broadcast.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Both bands I like still listen to this day. I love them. But yeah, but other than that, I mean, it was Bad Boy. You guys aren't going to ask me about the Diddy party?
Oh, we should. Yeah, I mean,
I didn't know about this.
I mean, you don't have to ask it anymore. I already put it out there.
yeah. All right. Tell us
No, there
about the Diddy
wasn't really
party.
a Diddy party. I was
Oh, okay.
at a party with Diddy, and I talked to Diddy, and he was incredibly boring.
Oh, wow.
It was just a string of like word salad, like, y'all gotta hustle, you know what I mean? It's all about the game. We got our shit tight. We stay that way. Now it's time to celebrate.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Okay.
like, what?
Yeah. That's when you become a caricature of yourself, right? Like you're not
Right.
a person anymore in that situation. You're just saying shit that you think people want to hear.
Right.
So I'll ask you about something specific. Naughty by Nature 1999
Oh my
radio
God.
song.
Yeah.
That
How
was
were
the
you,
same night. That was
how
the
were you
same night.
approached by like how did that go down?
That was the same night. And so, oh God, you're going to get some real dirt here.
I like
This
it.
is the
I like
scandal.
it. I like
you ready
it.
for the scandal?
If you've
I'm
listened this
Okay,
long.
I'll just start off. Spoiler with the scandal. Part of the evening was making out with Left Eye Lopez.
No.
Wow.
So yeah,
Mic drop. We're
that's a
out.
night.
That's it.
So
Thanks,
we,
Dave.
We went to the Diddy party. It wasn't Diddy's party. It was a BMG party that all the artists went to. But Diddy was there, so I'm like, Diddy party.
Yeah.
I should probably stop doing that.
You should probably stop doing that.
I know.
He is in jail.
I was also trying to use. No, he's out. He was free on the 4th of
Right,
July.
but like
yeah.
he wanted to. Yeah,
America.
he deserves some
I
time.
Independence
found
Day.
people. I would be like, "Yo, come to the studio late night. We're going full Diddy," just like to be extreme.
Yeah.
But no one thought it was funny, so I stopped doing that. But so we're in line. We're Diddy's guests going into this party,
Wow.
and inside we see Salt and Pepper, Naughty by Nature, so many like old R&B acts, Monica, Brandy, and they're all BMG artists, and they're all at this party. So Brian Austin Green tries to get into the party and gets told away,
See ya, Brian.
and then Diddy like tells us to go in. They all
Wow.
let us all in our Goodwill suits, like, oh shit. And so we're in there, and I start talking to Lisa Left Eye Lopez, got super drunk. We were doing like shots, and then we wanted to smoke weed. So she's just like, let me get everybody, where I think we're going to go up to the room, and we're all going to smoke. And I'm like, cool. So I'm like, I'm with you, you know?
Yeah.
And we went up there, and it was Naughty by Nature, Salt and Pepper, and TLC, and Rustic Overtones.
Wow.
In a hotel room, smoking blunts. I was hammered, and I was talking to Tretch, and they told us the next day they had to take it easy because they were in the studio the next day. And they're like, yeah, we all know rock shit. Actually, we like rock music, and we're doing a rock song tomorrow. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Who you doing a rock song with? And they were like, Korn. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, if there's a band on this planet that knows less about hip hop,
Yeah.
I would be surprised. These guys are fucking hacks. They are terrible. And of course, Zoidus is there, and he's right. They're shit, dude. They're so whack. And we literally did this all night long. Like, bro, remember us. Call us tomorrow. Call us instead. Forget corn. Call us. We got you. We got horns. We got everything.
We can do it all.
And they did.
That's amazing.
They did. We heard from our label the next day that we're doing the song and Korn's not, and we recorded it at Electric Ladyland.
Crazy.
In New York City. Yeah, it was insane.
That's so cool.
So you were in there right with them, and
yeah,
crazy.
We did a version of the song. We got there before they did, and their engineer was like, "Yeah, I don't even know if they'll show up. I mean, if you guys want to just record something," and we're like, "Oh shit!" So we set up the whole band, did a version of the song to the beat that was the whole band playing, and they showed up, and they were like, "Nah. We don't want any of this stuff." And then they were just like, ding, ding,
yeah,
ding, ding.
We love rock.
Yeah. And they took my vocal from what I had been singing with the band and just put it on their track in the some splicing or whatever. And that was it.
That's what.
Yeah, it was a wild time.
That's crazy. So did you get a text from Lisa later, or was that?
We didn't have cell phones.
Oh yeah, that's.
Did she hit your beeper?
She sent me. Yeah,
my beeper kept beeping.
No, we never reconnected after that, and she died shortly after that.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. Was it Andre Rison, Bad Moon Rising?
Yeah. I know about the sports, right? You guys back on your sports
shit. Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
Hey, you know
I got
more than
actually
you're leading on.
scandalous, and then you guys still. The most hardcore thing in the world is sports to you guys. Is this a sports podcast?
Yeah, sometimes. We thought about doing that on April Fool's, just releasing an episode about sports and nothing else.
Can you please title this episode "Sports"?
We can, yeah. Sports with Dave Cutter.
Sports with Dave Cutter.
That's the name of the episode. That's it right there.
So how do you feel like you recorded it and then it's etched in time? You're on like when you put in Rustic on the platform that we won't mention, like that comes up. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff like that I've written that's under the radar or slightly in the radar. Like I've written for a lot of like Robert Randolph from the Family Band and Tedeschi Trucks Band.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And there's been all these like random sessions with like these singer-songwriters that like have like one song or something, and like you hear a song that I wrote at Starbucks. So most people say it's pretty distinctive, that like you can kind of hear my cadence and my phrasing in the stuff I write, as much as I try to be objective, not do my go-to things. You can kind of hear that, but there's a lot of stuff that I've written, and it's fun. I just love music. That's the number one thing. That's what I want to be known for. Write that on my gravestone. Dave loved music.
Well, hey, like even with a new album, like you poke fun at it, but at the end of the day, it comes from an arena that you've lived in your whole life. You know what I mean?
It's like the guys that go on, or the girls that go on Facebook and like complain about their husband or wife, like this piece of shit, never again. And you know what I mean? Yeah. That's what I'm like about music. It's like I'm just like, oh my God, I hate you. Come back here.
Yeah.
Come back to me.
Don't ever leave me, you dick.
Unless you want me.
Yeah.
I hate you unless you want me.
Yeah. Yep.
Fuck a record deal. What, you got a record deal?
Yeah, you got
sick. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit.
I feel like that's
awesome.
the mic drop.
Yeah, that's a great way to end it.
Dave, I'll say this: we don't have any repeat guests. I think you're gonna have to be one of them.
Yeah, we're gonna come. We do this again. Yeah, we do this again.
We could even do since this was, I guess, different than your regular format or whatever. We could even do something that's again topic a bit off kilter. Like
we'd come up with the topic and
we could
get
make
off.
We could make a song. I do like songwriting classes with like kids and stuff where no matter how intellectually less you are than me, we could still write a song together.
Sports fans,
yeah. It would be like you're elevated up.
You guys are gonna do an episode and write a song about sports.
Yeah, we could. We could break it down. We'd have to edit it or whatever, but we could break it down and
we'll use AI. I mean, we'll use
we could battle AI.
I really
we
appreciate
could make a song and
that. Could be fun.
Yeah.
I appreciate you telling me I was stupid in a very nice way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I appreciated that.
I was talking to both of you.
Okay. Tell both of us
like,
that
no
we
one's
were
ever said that
stupid.
about you. I've heard it though.
No, I'm just joking. I pretend to be pretentious because I think it's funny when people are pretentious.
I don't feel like you're pretentious, so I appreciate it.
Oh, there was one other thing I was going to tell you guys, but next time.
Next time, yeah. Well, thanks, Dave. This was a blast. Kevin, thanks for hanging out.
You're welcome.
Kevin, you didn't even say anything.
Producer
It's
credit,
your
right?
episode.
Yeah, you'll be back.
He's
You'll
the
be back.
asshole that he's the producer credit does nothing.
Yeah.
Just
I take the first 1,000 streams.
He's gonna,
There it is.
mic
Awesome.
drop.
Thank you for listening to Podioslave. We are at Podioslave on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of the places that you can find us on social media. Facebook, Podioslave Podcast. YouTube, Podioslave Podcast there. Email us at podioslavepodcast@gmail.com. And hey, if you want to become a supporter, click on the link at the bottom of the episode and give us $1, give us $5. It keeps the lights on, keeps us going. We really appreciate that stuff. Thank you.